This is not good. Worlds are colliding.
We were smart enough to not say, Houston, there's a light out there that's following us.
And what the hell is that? You know, what is that? And I couldn't even talk. I was just amazed at what I was seeing.
This is the Beast of the Week podcast.
Hey, keep that hush hush. You're gonna get my HBO shut down.
HBO's gonna come on here for that?
Yeah. No, HBO is everywhere. They got eyes, they got shooters.
You gotta remember, it's
No, you're talking about The Sopranos. It's a different thing.
Oh, that's not a documentary?
No, it's not about the people that run HBO. That's about...
I'm pretty sure it's inspired by the people who run HBO.
No, that's about James Gandolfini, which is Italian for James Little Gandalf.
These are true facts.
Yep.
Well, we're not going for Italy today. We're going to
North?
Western Africa.
Oh, south.
Yeah, south. Yeah, south of Italy.
Yep.
south of us.
Welcome to the Beast of the Week podcast. I'm John Cannon.
I'm Joe McGlinchey.
I'm Sam Harris.
And I'm Toria Ainsworth.
This week we got a real interesting one because I had the time of my life researching this because I love dinosaurs.
Who doesn't?
Young Earth creationists. Actually, no, they love dinosaurs.
Yeah, I was gonna say they literally love dinosaurs to death.
A
more recent death.
They're actually proponents attached to what we're talking about because they love the idea of living dinosaurs. And folks, we're talking about one of the biggest living dinosaur myths or stories, facts.
We went all the way through that.
The Mokele-Mbembe. Guys, this is real.
Is it?
Yes.
All right, I guess we're done here.
No,
Cool.
So
it's a wrap?
You're not the only one that does research, Jonathan, and I've decided
That's a news to me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is.
It's not true. I do research all these.
I know you do. I know you do.
I just don't write the notes.
He keeps it all up here in his head.
I vehemently disagree. I think the Loch Ness Monster is more likely than this fucking bullshit.
Oof. Wow.
Those are big words. Wow.
Yeah, no, this thing is like every goddamn niche other than the ones that people directly inhabit. So, no.
What?
Niche, like in biology, all animals to survive have a niche. They all have a job.
Right.
This one has so fucking many through all the stories that like you have to cut out most of them to make this thing even plausible.
We definitely researched different stories because I found a lot of consistency.
I definitely did not.
All right, well, let's get into the reads here.
Yeah,
and
let's get in here.
I'm going to take you on an adventure into the literal reads. Come with me, friends. In Cameroon, Gabon, the Republic of the Congo, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo come stories of a creature that occupies the rivers, lakes, and swamps that the Congo River Delta feeds. Lake Tele in the Republic of the Congo is the particularly eventful hotspot in sightings of this creature, which I found interesting because that's another thing of consistency I found. So let's set the scene here.
Another lake monster.
Kind of. A little different. Similar, though.
Is it Nessie? Before we go even further,
There are
is it
a
Nessie?
lot of... No, there's a lot of similarities between Mokele-Mbembe and Nessie in what I found.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear.
And I'm excited because Sam and I have disparities here, which is real interesting.
Yeah.
To set the scene here, I'm actually going to take you to the most exciting sightings, encounters of the Mokele-Mbembe that I could find. In 1959, one of the beasts was killed by a group of forest-dwelling pygmies of the Bangombe tribe at Lake Tele. The beast, which they referred to as the Mokele-Mbembe, had taken over the waterways that the Bangombe fished. It used this as a means to getting into the lake itself. As it took this path daily, the pygmies were unable to fish in these waters. They became fed up with the beast that had taken over. A group of them constructed a stake barrier across the waterway to block the Mokele-Mbembe from entering the lake. Lying in wait, the pygmies saw two of the creatures attempting to pass the barrier. They leapt into action, spearing one of the creatures to death. They killed one of these. Triumphant hunters took upon themselves the task of cutting the beast into pieces. The animal was so large that this took several days. After the creature was slaughtered, a victory feast was held, as is natural. The tribesmen feasted on the flesh of the beast that had tormented them. However, the celebration did not last long, as those who ate the meat died shortly after.
What a bummer.
Right?
You slay the beast and then die.
I wonder if they're a relative of the pufferfish.
You realize there's other animals that make you sick if you eat them, right?
Yeah, really, any of them.
That's
you don't cook.
that's the highest mortality rate that I can think
Miss
of.
Ainsley,
off the
you
top
do
of my
understand
head,
this thing
though.
had Second Chance Pro, right?
She's not Harriet Ainsley's wife. It's not even her fucking
I don't
last
know,
name.
water dwelling creatures? Drelling?
Give me one other similarity other than water dwelling and they ate it and died.
Got nothing.
That fish.
The pufferfish.
Nope, that's the best I can do.
Okay.
Not the puffer fish. It was one of the other. Yeah, I'm right. Whatever.
Okay. It raises the question, what exactly was this thing? It's a thoroughly researched and tracked cryptid. One of the most that I've come across so far. I know we haven't encountered a lot of big name cryptids, but this one's got a long story. Despite all the research put into it, it hasn't reached the same fame as a Sasquatch or a Mothman, but it's almost universally considered to be a dinosaur-like creature, which I thought this was true across the board, but Sam has proven me wrong that there isn't necessarily a shocking amount of consistency in the reports.
Yeah, I definitely don't believe so.
Let me tell you, this thing has been known to be up to 35 feet long, with a shoulder height of about 5 to 7 feet, which is roughly the size of an elephant or larger.
You sounded so proud to finish that sentence.
This thing has a long and flexible neck that ranges from about 6 to 12 feet, and it's as thick as a man's thigh, ending in a serpentine head, kind of like my thigh. On males...
Are you making a penis joke or what?
I wasn't really, but you take it as you will. On males, this is capped by a single long horn. Now I'm making the penis joke.
That's some low dangling fruit.
That was really low dangling fruit. Another penis joke, if you will.
I always will.
Some reports say it has smooth skin, and some say it's scaled like a pangolin.
Think a sand shrew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
A sand shrew is literally a pangolin with powers.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a member of like the armadillo family.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. All right.
Yeah.
Did you know there was a giant armadillo in that one era?
Yeah. Oh,
there are still some pretty big armadillo out there.
But this thing was like a Volkswagen.
Due to their spines, they can't. A lot of armadillos cannot roll up due to their spine.
Huh.
Really?
So that's mostly the Texas armadillo, right?
They are also reservoirs for leprosy.
Yes,
What?
that is true.
Wow.
That is true. They are big on
Yeah.
leprosy.
It's like
What?
the best non-human host for leprosy, which is why common cases currently that happen are usually from somebody like touching a wild armadillo.
That's wild.
Damn, that's good to know. So also accounts give it a reddish-brown skin or brownish-gray. So it's very earthy.
Oh yeah, earth tones only.
Very earthy. It's long and massive limbs and an elephant-like feet with 3 clawed toes. Unlike your standard elephant. It leaves tracks like a hippo, but it's bigger.
I've actually been told reports where they leave footprints the size of like a frying pan about.
A frying pan.
Yeah.
Frying pans vary.
Yeah, but the standard cast iron frying pan, come on.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Yeah.
But with 3 clawed toes.
My frying pan has no claws.
Now this thing leaves tracks like
My
a hippo,
bathtub has claws.
but this is 12 feet in diameter.
Yeah, I think I messed that one up.
Okay, is this supposed to be 2 feet?
12 inches.
12 inches.
Yeah.
Ah, that makes
Which-
way more sense.
So a foot.
Some people
I'm
call
gonna
it
say
1
that's a
foot.
big ass frying pan.
Is the size of a frying pan.
Yeah.
12 inches?
12 inches,
roughly?
yeah, just about
Give or take.
in diameter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually found very deep in the ground, indicating a large and heavy heavy animal, which you could imagine with feet the size of a frying pan. It's probably decently sized.
There's also been tracks where there is a furrow in the ground with them that resembles a long snake's track.
Interesting.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, the belly or the tail.
Yeah. Wow.
It could even be what's it called that a rooster has? We talked about this literally last
waddle?
episode.
Oh, the gobble?
Yeah, a gobbler.
Or the waddle.
Waddle.
A gobbler is a kind of waddle. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah,
I think the
it could
gobble
be.
is the turkey-specific waddle.
Yeah.
I would lend it to probably the only factual thing possible if that snake-like appendage was not its tail and was instead a waddle.
Gonna get me angry.
That would make it closer to what sauropods looked like.
That's just new age dinosaur shit.
Yeah, get out of here,
The picture
nerd.
that we have included on our notes looks a lot like a very mean Littlefoot.
Littlefoot was kind of a piece of shit, though.
Hey!
All he did was whine for like 14 movies.
That's true.
Well, yeah. I
He
mean,
was
like,
the
did his fucking
whiniest.
parents die?
Yes.
Every movie where a parent dies, they shut up about it by Act 3.
Or they become a superhero?
Yeah, and they still shut up about it by about Act 3.
Then his grandma dies?
Yeah, that
It's
was
awful.
Rip.
Yeah, pretty much everyone around him dies.
Well, he's a dinosaur. They really should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're looking for a mental image, if you don't see the album artwork already, think about like a sauropod dinosaur, like a brachiosaurus.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
fun fact,
with
the
the giant
Brontosaurus, for a long time, they said it wasn't a real dinosaur. It's back, though.
Really?
The Brontosaurus declared real That's like if they were just like, no, just kidding. Pluto's still good.
Big news.
I think they did do that.
Yeah.
Why did they say it
Pluto's,
wasn't at first?
Because the fossil evidence, a lot of it was separate dinosaurs put together, and new evidence showed that. But then I guess they put together enough to make it a distinct animal.
Someone spent a lot of time with just fueled by vengeance.
Do you know that's like most of paleontology?
Really?
I got into reading about paleontology. There was like the fossil wars and stuff like that. Like, this shit's serious.
Damn. That's kind of cool.
My apologies. I misspoke earlier. Sauropoda actually do not have feathers.
No, they don't. They were not avian.
For what we have in information currently, there is no evidence for that, although they do share the common ancestor that did have feathers.
They share the common ancestor, but my understanding is there's several, like, I don't know what part in the, King Philip thing that they are, but you have the, like, the aviary ones, I forget the actual name, and then the sauropods are distinct from them.
Yeah, pretty much. Kind of like how the plesiosaurs were still soars, but they did not have feathers, obviously.
Exactly.
That would make no sense.
Wait, the plesiosaur has sore at the end, but isn't it technically not a dinosaur?
Plesiosaur, I want to say is it's its own thing.
I mean, sore means lizard, so...
Yeah, soar. I think the plesio part means plesios is Greek for near.
So it's
So
nearly
it's-
a
So it's
lizard.
like almost.
A plesiosaur literally means in Greek like almost dinosaur.
It's kind of like being the ball boy for like a major league team.
Yeah, well,
It's
dinosaurs
almost.
shit.
Yeah, you're on the team, but like
You got the participation trophy of dinosaurs.
that's a pretty cool participation.
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
that.
I'll take that one for sure. I don't need to be the champion dinosaurs.
Oh, definitely.
That's Jeff Goldblum
Is the
right
trophy
there.
a shooting star?
No, Jeff Goldblum's actually a dinosaur.
You know it. We know it.
Jeff knows it.
Jeff obviously
Jeff knows
He
it. in his
flaunts
soul.
it.
Oh yeah. Sam, you're one of those guys who like watches the fun videos on YouTube and you have to pause them and be like, the Earth can't be flat. No one wants to hear that.
Aren't you a YouTuber?
No, no, I'm not.
Weren't you in
No, I'm not.
in some respect? No, I'm pretty sure you were.
Sam's looking off into the distance, lighting another cigarette.
A long time
That
ago.
was a different me.
I'm not a YouTuber.
I threw out all my blue shirts.
That was your thing. I forgot about that.
Yeah, blue shirts.
Really have not looked into your past at all.
So these big dino boys are herbivores, feeding primarily on fruit or plants. I'm pretty sure that herbivores generally mean only fruit or plants.
Oh, they eat leaves too, dummy.
Because leaves aren't plants. You heard it here first, kids.
I
gonna
think
kill you.
I think leaves are plesiosaurs.
Yeah. They're not really plants.
They're like almost plants. They're on the team. They don't really play a great role.
plants.
This isn't a house plant I have here. This is a house almost plant.
Yeah.
Nearly.
That's why I don't water it.
That's really mean
That's
to
why.
call your cat an almost plant.
It is almost a plant.
Your cat?
Yeah, he doesn't move that much.
If you think about it, when it comes to pets, fish are almost plants.
Fish are plants.
Honestly, they're harder to kill.
You water them, you
No,
fertilize
fish
them.
are friends.
You can be
not
friends with
Not
a plant.
food.
Yeah, 100%.
I've eaten both plants and fish, so
You mean you're
So you're an omnivore.
eating plants.
yes.
Or pescatarian, I guess.
So despite this herbivorous nature, it is very territorial and is known to overturn canoes and kill the occupants with its tail.
Oh, fuck.
A regular
Would probably be a
trickster.
pretty
regular,
cool tail.
regular trickster.
Regular old trickster.
At least it doesn't make him drown.
That's true.
Oh, I
He
mean,
just smashes them with his tail.
he probably just hits them. He beats them, and then they're like, fuck, I can't move.
No, it kills him with it.
Yeah, but like, how?
Beats the
Like
shit out of him.
severe head trauma.
They said- they
That
said,
doesn't mean you're dead while you're drowning.
I've read that Brachiosaurus could whip their tail faster than a
Back and
bullwhip.
forth.
Ouch.
Makes
What?
sense.
Yeah, they broke the sound barrier.
Lots of muscle.
Damn.
Lots of muscle, and they found spinal columns that are fused and damaged from it.
That's
fuck.
dope as fuck.
If you can't tell, I fucking love dinosaurs.
Nah, that's...
On
No,
a
I
very
couldn't
base
tell.
level. I'm not going and like reading that much about it, but I'm gonna like read the fun things about dinosaurs.
Damn,
That's
that's
fair.
impressive.
I know, it's really cool to read
Really?
about dinosaurs.
Fuck shit. Well, no, that's cool too.
This big boy, despite its herbivorous,
Oh no.
this is bad. This big old dinosaur boy also kills hippos, elephants, and crocodiles, but does not eat them. There's a notable absence of hippos in the areas that the Mokele-Mbembe is said to habitate.
Great job.
Good job there.
Thank you. I
What do you have to
tried.
say
I
about
tried
that,
really hard.
science nerd Sam?
Nothing.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow. Aggression here tonight.
It's about time Joey got aggressive with me. So it's fine. I'm not gonna fight back. I'll just let it happen.
So these creatures are apparently sighted usually alone or in pairs. So I would guess that they're fairly solitary. Maybe have like a mate or a best friend, and that's really all they can tolerate because too many of them and they're getting in each other's way. They're trying to hit each other with their big massive tails. You
I can
know.
relate.
Yeah.
Big, powerful tails.
I always try to hit people with my tail.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your big, powerful tail, John.
I'll ass check all of you. Stay out of my way.
You better watch out.
Amphibious by nature, some say that it lives in the forest, but comes to the water to feed. Others say that it lives in riverside caves.
All right.
I don't know why that makes it scarier to me. But
That it lives
does.
in the...
No, that
Caves
it like
or forests?
that it kind of both. I mean, more so the caves for sure. That this thing just lives in riverside caves and comes out and he's like,
Gonna fuck up your canoe.
I'm gonna go fuck shit up today. It's like, what could you do? I can go and eat the plants by the river. I could have a nice day sunning. No, I'm gonna go kill shit.
You know, it could do the same thing waking up in the forest too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what makes me scared. It's not necessarily like,
Yeah.
not,
You're
not
just scared of
solely.
it.
Yeah, I see this thing. I'm running. I'm not trying to kill it. I'm out.
Do you think that, like, he wakes up in the morning and is like, I'm gonna kill shit, I'm gonna fuck people up? Or do you think they get in his way? He's trying to have a nice, peaceful afternoon, and these people just come by in their canoe, drunk as fuck, just, like, screaming.
This
It's
is
just
not
like,
New Orleans story. I know
where do you
it's
think
similar,
we-
but this is West Africa.
You think this is the bayou?
Do you think?
I know
No.
they still have alcohol, but it's not like there's a frat party going on.
Do you think this is how P. Diddy feels every morning when he wakes up?
he just wants to kill people? Or he wants a nice, quiet afternoon?
I don't know.
That's
you
what
asked
I'm
Tupac
saying.
and Biggie.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
He used to be able to.
he used to. Yeah, he used to.
So
Yeah.
there's the thing with the Mokele-Mbembe. Sightings go back so far, and a lot of them come from tribal stories that we just really don't have recorded, unfortunately. But prior to the age of colonization in Africa, We rely on the legends of the local tribes, which are rich with stories regarding the Mokele-Mbembe. Much of what we learned initially comes directly from these stories, and after Europeans came to colonize the area, they started reporting strange things and were often told about the creature by the locals.
Within the mid-18th century, so you got these French missionaries in Gabon. French missionaries in Gabon.
This is how we don't get French listeners.
That's fine.
Totally okay with that.
Yeah, that's all right with me. They reported finding 3-toed clawed tracks, 3 feet in circumference and 7 to 8 feet apart. So that's quite a gate. So this thing's got to be big. If you're walking 7 to 8 feet apart, you know that's. And to put it in a way, if you look at a deer or even a bear walking around, if these tracks are 7 to 8 feet apart, it's understandable that the gait is somewhere, like the actual length of the animal is probably around 12 to 10 feet.
Right, and it's not exactly clear which way they're measuring, because if that's like both hind feet, that's bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's fucking huge.
This
then.
lack of information is just crippling.
I mean, it's
Riveting.
It's the mid-18th century. We're lucky that they wrote anything down because they didn't even have paper.
Yeah. I will say, mid-18th
What?
century.
What the
Nope.
fuck are you talking about?
They wrote it on their
Nope.
arm and it just didn't...
Hold up. You know the American Revolution happened in like the late?
Yeah, and the whole thing
Yeah,
was...
yeah.
Yeah, and John Hancock wrote everything on his arm, and then he was just lucky that when the time rolled around in the late 18th century that it was still there.
Yeah,
I quit.
Yeah,
I quit.
No,
Goodbye.
John Hancock is sitting in front of all of his buds, and he's just like, "We're going paperless, boys," and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" He's just like, "I've stored everything up on the cloud." They're just like, he's been talking to Ben Franklin again.
I mean, the founding fathers were stoners, so they probably stored a lot of shit in the cloud.
On the cloud, yeah. So now I will say, to give credit to all sightings of this era, this is also not too far past the point that we literally were just like, a lion? It looks real fucking weird.
It does look real fucking weird.
It does look weird, but like they didn't even make it look like a big cat. They made it look like the fucking...
Are you talking about the taxidermy?
Yeah.
Do you see the one where they didn't realize walruses have wrinkles?
No.
Is it like a walrus on Botox?
They just stuffed it so much that it had no wrinkles.
It sounds like a fucking...
Nightmare.
something you'd fight in Monster Hunter.
If you want to give credit to any part of cryptozoology, just look at old taxidermy before we knew what animals looked like.
That sounds.
That's true. That's true. So on top of that, so we're gonna bring ourselves back to a little bit sooner. Right after Woodrow Wilson was elected into office in 1913, a German officer by the name of Ludwig Freier von Stein zu Lausitz.
Lounces.
Lausitz, I'd imagine.
You like the lounces?
Ludwig Freier von Stein zu Lausitz was charged with leading an expedition to catalog local flora and fauna. Lounce was one of the first German officers in the Cameroon. He led several campaigns against natives between 1895 and 1898. Became the colonial leader of the Santa Ngoko district of the Cameroon. All the while, he took extensive notes on local geography, flora, and fauna. In fact, much of the information we still use today comes from his research. On this particular expedition, now I want you guys to follow along here.
I got you.
Natives told him about a beast with smooth skin, the size of an elephant, a long and flexible neck, and a long tusk or horn on its, badonk.
No, that's the opposite.
Yeah, on his face.
On its reverse
He was
badonk.
Yeah, it's
on his
Reverse
backwards
badonk.
donk.
If we have
The
to have that word,
anti-badonk.
the front badonk.
the anti-donk.
The anti-donk.
The anti-donk.
He was shown a path one had made to browse for its favorite food, the white liana blossom. So he eats flowers.
That's its favorite.
I also want to make a side note here before we move on too far. I like how Ludwig Frere von Stein zu Lautzens, what'd you call him, Lance? We have a wonderfully horrible habit here on Beast of the Week of just making up nicknames for people as soon as we read their name.
Yeah, we're scientists.
It's
I feel like this one's not too far.
It makes us seem more friendly. I don't know.
It's
know
because
where I'm
we
going.
know him.
No,
we're boys.
That's just not how fucking last names work. Like, you don't fucking say every goddamn consonant and everything. I'm not like, hello, it's my good friend John Cananon.
Yeah, I don't have that many letters in my name.
Fuck you talking about? It's canon.
My name's...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying, like, the dude's last name, Lausens, is probably not that fucking... It's not Lausintitz.
Yeah, no one was saying that.
No one said that.
I know, I'm being hyperbolic, but...
Are you?
You picked a bad example.
You know what?
My
You know
name's
what?
very phonetic.
You know what? I'm sorry I brought it up. Let's move.
Because if we all do it differently, one of us will be right.
That's true.
Yeah.
We'll just meet in the middle is what we'll do.
The median.
So moving forward, in 1932, two men, Ivan T. Sanderson and Gerard Russell, saw a huge animal swim out from a submerged cave on the Cross River in Cameroon. They could only see a dark head, which was larger than a hippo's, and created a wave when it submerged.
Cool.
This helped explain a curious situation months earlier that happened to them. The two came across massive hippo-like tracks near the same river.
Wow.
Scary. And then in 1935, we actually have one local account from a Bantu man named Freeman Mosomele. This was in 1935. He was paddling along in a small boat in a lake near Apena, Republic of Congo. He saw the creature's reddish-brown back, a snake-like head, and a 6 to 8 foot long neck, based on his assumption. He paddled away.
That's long.
It's very long. It's almost as long as something that's 6 to 8 feet long. How many boys is that?
Wow.
About 2.
Player.
Yeah, Shaq. You saw Shaq swimming next to back.
Yeah, I like that.
Shaq seems very buoyant to me.
He does seem buoyant, doesn't he?
He's a buoyant fellow.
He's a buoyant boy. So he paddled away from the dangerous animal and lived to tell the tale. 45 years later, cryptozoology investigators showed him a book of animals to identify the legendary creature. Mosomele pointed to a picture of a sauropod.
Boom! Got him.
Case closed.
What is your comeback, Sam?
Nothing. I'm not ready to fight this yet. I'm letting you guys fucking lay out all your shit first.
You want to? All right, let's talk evidence.
Let's talk evidence.
I used to be an evidence technician, so I know all about evidence. Yeah, you guys are fucked.
All right, so if you guys will remember from the Nessie episode, and if you don't, go listen, you fake fans.
Harsh words.
I mean, it's fucking Nessie.
Come on. You guys don't even care about cryptids. Large aquatic animals are often said to be sighted when an abnormally large V-shaped wake is spotted. This indicates a large animal traveling close to the surface, moving at a pretty good speed. To get a wake, that's a sizable speed.
That's at least 10 knots.
Sure,
Yeah.
That's
I can't say that with certainty. I don't boat.
Oh shit!
It's probably true, though.
It's Mark Twain here.
Is he?
Hello, it's me, Mark Twain.
You owe me so much goddamn time in my life. Your books were shit. No, Huckleberry Finn was alright. Fuck you.
Yeah, Huck Finn was good.
Hartford isn't the jewel of America like you wrote in the 1800s, sir.
Why,
That's
this
true.
city that I went to, I have an interesting anecdote about it that people quote to visitors for 1,400 years.
What was his name? Something Clemens?
Samuel Clemens. I will say Hartford is, from all the locations that you can go in New England, it's just below the orange line. So
You are correct.
That's exactly right.
it's not great.
Because the orange
In
line
fact, that
hasn't
might
gone
just
bankrupt
be-
yet. Meanwhile,
They're working on it, though.
they're trying.
So,
They are trying.
On a side note, they're actually getting new trains for the orange line. They're the first ones.
Really?
Oh, good. Will these ones not smell like poop?
not for long.
Ideally, for the first week or so.
Not for long.
Yeah, they won't smell like caca.
This is some
Cucka. I haven't heard someone say cucka in so long.
It's a good word. We should use
Shit.
it.
Cucka.
Cucka.
Oh, you should.
Last time I heard my dad
Why?
say that.
What's
like,
wrong with cucka?
years ago.
You sound like a toddler.
No, it sounds like an old man.
I usually sound like a well, the one and the same.
Now you draw
ever
the line?
seen Benjamin Button. Yeah, now you
Actually,
draw
no.
the line.
Actually, no.
All right. October 27th, 1981 to December 3rd, 1981. Roy Mackle, Richard Greenwell, and Justin Wilkinson were on an expedition to the Lukoala region in the Republic of the Congo, where, this is a short story, they encountered a curiously large V-shaped wake in the Lukala River.
And then what?
And that's it?
Well, it's just important to note because this is on the Delta River Congo, it's close to Lake Tele, and it follows along with plenty of stories because the Lukala region is the main region of Mokele-Mbembe sightings.
Is this over the course of that time between October 27 and
That's just
December
how long they were there. They didn't know the date. They were just some wild frat boys out looking for dinosaurs.
I want to talk to their manager.
I don't think they had a manager.
Well, we're fucked.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
now this one's real interesting. September 1992, a Japanese crew led by Tatsuo Watanabe was filming footage from a helicopter over Lake Tele, getting panoramic shots for a documentary. Now, what they managed to capture was typical with cryptids, shaky, grainy footage of a supposed Mokele-Mbembe. Now, I watched this. This is my breakdown of the whole video, and I'm going to post it to you guys listening right now. You can see a large shape moving across the surface of the lake. There's a really big V-shaped wake behind it, big enough only a large animal or a boat could have caused it, but there's no visible boat. A vertical protuberance is visible in front of it, could be the long neck, and you can see a second hump, possibly the body or the tail. It's visible for 15 seconds, after which it submerges.
Do you ever stop and think it could be Conan O'Brien?
It probably is.
That's what I was thinking.
What?
What?
It's Conan O'Brien, you know? It's got red head. It
Earthy
masturbates
tones.
in public.
It's what?
What?
I just made up a rumor about Conan O'Brien.
Can we spread that rumor right now? Did you hear
No.
about how Conan O'Brien got arrested in San Diego for jacking it in public?
It does kind of look like a dinosaur. I'll give you that.
That's very interesting.
Could it be a submarine?
Why would there be a submarine in a lake?
I don't know.
You know
Maybe
how
there's
expensive
treasure.
those are? Submarines?
Yeah,
are
you
so
know what? Also, why the fuck is it in black and white?
That's
In
a good
1992.
question. Now that I can't figure
Why? Why? This is in the intro of fucking X-Files.
Maybe it wasn't a documentary. Maybe they're doing a movie. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Maybe they might have been scouting.
If you can afford to get a fucking plane to take panoramic shots for a documentary of a lake,
I mean, we're also
So you're saying...
or even just videos of a fucking lake.
So it's a hoax, you say?
impossible.
I'm not. I mean, it's possible that it is a hoax. It's possible that this never even fucking happened.
I don't know. The video's right there.
I mean, like,
You know,
yeah, it's all possible, but...
The video's there, but like it looks like it's from fucking 1950.
yeah. So there's all videos of cryptids until flip phones were invented. But that's
Look at Lake Tele. It's very circular.
that is. I mean, for one thing, I'm not saying
Yeah, it is
this,
a beautiful lake.
discredits it, but that is definitely like Tele, which is just a question that came to my mind. But another thing that I'd like to point out, and I'll go into this more later, look at how remote Lake Tele is.
I was just about to say, there's
Yeah, it's super
nothing.
remote.
Nothing there. It's very remote. This region is very remote.
And I will say it's pretty hard to find any information about Lake Tele and the ecology.
You're right. I was looking for that
Yeah.
a lot, and it is difficult to find.
I could find what's native to the Congo, but that's it.
There's a few things I was able to find, but overall, it's not very descriptive, which
Yeah,
I think...
a lot of catfish.
Yeah.
Some cichlids,
So
but
let's go into this one. I found interesting because, like we mentioned, this is a very long storied cryptid that goes back beyond, European recording. So we do have to rely a bit on what the native African people had to say about it from the region of the Congo. And there's a number of artifacts from indigenous people that are said to depict the Mokele-Mbembe. One of those is a sculpture. So this is a 6-inch tall wooden sculpture depicting two creatures. One of them's a long-legged, long-necked adult. The other, a smaller, short-legged, and short-necked creature that doesn't look exactly the same. So this is believed.
They're very cute, though.
They are cute.
I know this is kind of off topic, but the face of the adult kind of looks like the worms from Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it does.
Beetlejuice, right?
Yeah, that's Beetle.
Yeah.
It took me a second, but you're right. That does look a lot like the sandworms.
Yeah.
It's believed to be of West African origin and has been housed in the... Oh, fuck. We got so many different... We got, like, French names, German names, African names, Irish names now. Glen Comarach House in Ireland since the 50s. At least one researcher says it looks modern, and admittedly, it does. This is, like, pretty fine sculpting work. Honestly, it looks like something you'd get in a souvenir shop.
It really does.
Yeah.
But it's been housed since the 50s. Cryptozoologist Carl Schuker notes that the larger creature resembles a sauropod, but has a number of odd features, such as the large overlapping scales like a pangolin, and a rayed fin structure under the tail. Both of those have that.
I was gonna say both of the creatures have that, which kind of goes to suggesting that this would be a baby.
Right, and
Is that one Old Greg?
it does kind of look like old Craig.
Scaly little manfish.
Now,
I will say on top of that, they have hooves. It looks like.
no, I
Yeah,
see
that
toes
does look
on
like
the
hooves.
on the
It's
back
got toes
foot.
on the back foot.
On the back feet,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
but on the front feet, I see hooves.
It kind of looks like there's a little indentation in the front that would...
I will also say, big thing, important for Sam's defense.
Uh-huh.
Look at those teeth.
They are sharp teeth.
That's some sharp, predatorial teeth.
Well,
true.
if we are going to say that this goes back to relatively ancient origin, it could just be a hyperbole because it's so vicious, this terror it invokes.
I'm just saying, big ass
That's
teeth.
fair. That's fair.
I'm just saying.
But
Damn.
with the fin structure under the tail, a friar of Glen Comarach House said that it could actually be a cloaca. We actually have a relevant time to discuss the genitals of a
Interesting.
cryptid.
Hey!
Is this the
I
first?
love
I think
it.
this is.
It's finally
the
come
first,
up.
The first one that's relevant.
The first one that we didn't have to bring up ourselves. Thank you, science, for making this possible.
You're welcome.
Shut up, nerd. The smaller
So
end.
then I assume that they would be egg laying?
That's fair to assume.
Like the platypus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like this is like the pufferfish, it's also
Yeah.
like the platypus.
Aha.
Or, a chicken.
I know science.
The smaller animal also raises some questions, as it doesn't meet the standard description of the Mokele-Mbembe. It's got no long neck, scales are absent from the lower limbs. Possibly, this could be a juvenile stage of development, a little boy.
Okay.
Could also be another creature. There's no shortage of different dinosaur stories from the Congo River Delta region. They're almost centralized there.
Do you think that it could possibly be a female? There are some species that they don't necessarily look super alike.
That's true. That's a good theory. I like that.
And if the genders of this species look so different, perhaps maybe the female has their own sort of stories and their own name.
That's extremely possible. This episode was originally just going to cover several of the stories, but this one is huge, and there's so much to the Mokele-Mbembe compared to the other living dinosaurs of Africa.
Gotcha.
I will say it's very interesting that they said that there could be a cloaca on this animal, because not one of the only, but a cloaca is only present in, there are some birds
Right.
that have a cloaca, and in fish it's only sharks, rays, and lobe-finned fishes.
Lobe-finned. What's that mean?
It means they have fringe fins
Okay.
and stuff like that. It's a subclass of a bony fish.
Okay.
Now there's only 2 different types of lobe-finned fishes that still exist today.
Really? What are they?
Wow.
The lungfish,
Okay.
there's 6 species of lungfish that do have cloaca. The other, coelacanths.
Well, shit.
What is a coelacanth?
The coelacanth was, it's a fish that we thought went extinct millions of years ago until just one day, I believe in the 90s or early 2000s, someone just reeled one up off the coast. I forget the coast in Africa that they reeled it off of.
That's really cool, though.
Interesting.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, now you can just go fishing for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, global warming.
You did it.
Some also...
Just a little bit of cloaca facts.
Well, cloaca facts are always welcome on the Beast of the Week podcast. Message us on social media with your cloaca facts.
Give us your cloaca facts.
Give us your cloaca. Some also suggest that this other animal is so smaller, maybe the piece of wood they carved it from just wasn't big enough. It looks a little too deliberate for that to be the case, though.
Yeah.
So there's also rock art in Kuppenhole, Tanzania, which is a great name for a city. It depicts a long-necked animal, head held low, with a long, thick tail. It's pretty interesting. But this isn't the region the Mokele-Mbembe is typically sighted in.
That dude in the right looks like he's got a very long pee-pee.
Yeah, it does.
It is Africa. Some have also pointed out that in similar art from the region, giraffes are depicted in a similar manner, which, you know, is just kind of, it's pretty primitive art in that that's pretty much just cave drawings. I don't know how
It really
old
doesn't look
was.
that different from a giraffe, because it looks like there's an antelope.
Yeah, exactly.
under
It's
it,
not
like-
good evidence as far...
No, I'll say that's bonk.
Does that have like a ring in its nose, the antelope? Cause
It's a punk antelope.
Dude, you're really giving a lot of credit to some of the first art ever.
I was gonna
or a lot
say-
of criticism.
Because that would probably support the
That
fact
could be its eye.
if that they're just
Could just be its eye.
tossing shit on.
Yeah, that's true.
You think that's its eye?
It could
Just
be.
flops
Yeah.
right off the body like that.
Well, it kind of
Yeah.
looks like it's eating something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And maybe those aren't horns, maybe they're ears.
I do have
Nope.
one of
Now
the...
we're going far.
We have the best evidence yet.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I fucking bet. My dad told me when he was
Typical-
working at Nintendo that the Mokele-Mbembe is actually up next for Smash because it's real.
A cryptid smash would be the best game ever.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
closest
that would
we
be
got
pretty
was
good.
War of the Monsters.
Yeah. Typical of most cryptids, there isn't much in the way of video evidence, excluding the Japanese footage in '92. However, there is audio, supposedly of its roar. An aerospace engineer, explorer, and cryptozoologist by the name of Herman Regusters was on an expedition to Lake Tele, specifically searching for this creature. This took place October 9th to December 9th, 1981, which, if you'll remember, falls in the same time frame of the V-Wake sighting of Roy Mackal and his buddies.
We would like to play.
We're going to play this for you in a second, but let's give some context. They had several reports of water disturbances, V-shaped wakes and the like, and on 2 occasions saw a long neck emerging from the water. On November 4th, 1981, however, Regusters actually recorded what is supposedly the creature making a growling noise. Now, you'll have to kind of filter out in your mind the sounds of the water and the jungle, because that's noisy as it is.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it's going to break into a great black metal song.
Oh, wow.
That's not black metal, Joe.
No, that's not even close.
Listen to metal music.
All right, Joe, I gotta teach Joey about black metal.
Yeah.
This is the one that burned down church.
I would say this guy is closer to Limp Bizkit.
So what do you have to say about that, nerds?
Nothing. It's a fucking noise in the jungle. That sounds similar to like a howler monkey.
It kind of reminded me of the animatronic noises from Jurassic Park.
What do you think they get the animatronic noises from?
Usually sound effect people hitting shit.
Yeah.
You can't make a roar by hitting shit. You guys are fools. You guys are
Literally
fools.
how they did Chewbacca.
You fools. It's also, do you know Godzilla's roar is a leather strap being pulled down a bass string?
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'll have to try that sometime.
Who the fuck thinks of this?
Fucking genius.
Foley
Sound
people.
engineers.
Yeah, Foley people are special.
Yeah, they're just like, I'm gonna snap up a bunch of carrots, and then they film it, and they're just like, oh, that's Beethoven's Fifth. That's fucking Vivaldi right there, baby. It's a bunch of celery.
Sam, as our resident skeptic and Foley artist, why don't you tell us about some theories of what this could be?
So I don't know what this could be. My theories are mostly, I don't think this thing could exist. So I honestly don't have any representations of what this could be. It could be a croc or an alligator, I'm not sure what is local in the region, eating another fish up towards the water. I think that would give it the length. I don't know what that sound could be. I think that could be similar to what crocodiles actually kind of sound like when they like.
That's more
bellow.
of a hiss.
Don't they like
little roars also?
Yeah, they kind of like.
They do, but it's higher pitched by like a lot. It's a lot more higher pitched and shorter.
That. Yeah, that's true.
I will say this: that roar indicates lung capacity. If we're gonna agree that's a roar, that's a pretty good lung capacity.
If I'm arguing this cryptid specifically, it is not something that lives in the water. It definitely has lungs.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So people have said the African soft-shell turtle, they do have a long neck from an elongated snout. I don't think if it is as long as what they're saying, but possible. There is a cryptid that does fall into this category, the Nendeki.
Always great when we have another cryptid that could be this cryptid.
Yeah, it's almost as if different regions have the same thing. Look at fucking Nessie. Holy shit, there's like a Nessie in every state, including true. Africa, the state of Africa. It's about 12 to 15 feet in diameter. It's a giant turtle. It is found in Lake Tele. Now, it is believed to also be a surviving prehistoric version of the current soft-shell turtle. So this cryptid does not exist yet. We don't know if it exists, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not something that there's a fucking WWF page about.
I thought you were talking about wrestling for a minute, and I was like, well, when did they start delving into this?
Yeah, no, Paul Bearer's rocking down with the fucking giant-ass soft-shell turtle. But this doesn't explain the full body sightings. I don't think anyone would see a turtle and be like, that's gonna fuck up a hippo. I don't care how big the turtle is. You need... What's the fucking name of the god... Since we talked about Godzilla, what's the name of the dude?
Gamera.
That's like yeah, this isn't Gamera.
No, but imagine a giant alligator snapping turtle. Scary.
A giant alligator snapping turtle. Regular alligator snapping turtle is fucking terrifying.
Yeah, make it giant. Fuck that. Then you have Gamera.
One time I was fishing underneath a bridge in Manchester, and I'm standing on a rock, and I just under the water, like fucking 2 maybe feet total, like max, away from me is an alligator snapping turtle.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Just moving.
I don't think it's an alligator snapping turtle up here.
No, they have those in New Hampshire.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought they were just other kinds.
Yeah. Wow.
I have caught a snapping turtle before on a lure.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You know what you do?
No.
You give up.
This thing would have
I know, that's
broken
fair.
Sam's fishing pole.
Oh, they get huge. And also...
Would have broken my fucking leg.
Yeah. I will give this thing a little bit of credit because turtles live a long time. I'm not saying millions of years long, but there were actually alligator snapping turtles they found recently with musket balls in their shell from the Civil War, living.
Yeah, that's prehistoric.
Who was shooting at turtles?
Dude, the alligator snapping turtles in the Civil War when you're worried about your leg falling off, I'm not fucking with that.
I would shoot at a fucking turtle. Yeah, no, if I already have a gun and I'm trying to, like, survive and fight for the North.
And we have dinosaur turtles fucking with us.
Like, I'm worried about fucking, is it General Custer? I don't know. I'm
Custer
worried about,
died by Native Americans in Montana.
Yeah, I know that, but wasn't he a Civil War guy?
He might have been. I don't know.
I think he was Confederate. But either I'm
he was
worried
Union.
about fucking. I'm worried about like Grant. I'm not worried like. But in this giant fucking turtle comes at me.
You just put yourself in the South.
I'm worried about Ulysses S. Grant. Who's the fucking
Robert E. Lee?
Yeah.
That's who it is. I'm worried about fucking Robert E. Lee, and this giant ass turtle comes and get me.
Fuck that.
Nah. He ain't taking my flag. On the other side, let's go with something a little bit less shelled.
Anything
little-
else?
Yeah, a little bit less Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Hippos are hungry, and they do make riverside caves that the Mokele-Mbembe is said to occupy. But they're notably absent within the region.
I do have to say, that is curious. This is like prime hippo territory. I'm not saying it's definitely a dinosaur keeping them from there, but something's keeping them from there.
Yeah.
Are they nearby?
I don't know, actually. But it's just, there's plentiful food for them, plentiful space, and they're just really not there.
Yeah.
Huh.
Now, I will say, although there are not many hippos, they do have a huge abundance of gorillas in the area.
That is true.
Really?
Is it possible that this was a territorial gorilla in the audio recording? I don't know what gorillas really sound like. I know what they sound like when they're super mad, but that's it.
I don't think so. That's more of like a howl.
They're pretty quiet for the most part, even when being like approached and like territorial.
I feel like a gorilla sounds more like a person could make that noise than that.
They mostly just size themselves up without screaming.
They do scream, though.
They do. Well, yeah, they do, and they can.
I don't know. I don't think they roar like that.
No, not. But they make noises.
They definitely make noises. Sure.
I could see. You know, Distorted with the water real far back, they could make that noise.
That's fair. And jungles make a lot of noise. They're like never quiet unless there's a predator around.
And somebody filming with a video is a predator. It doesn't mean that they're a predator that's going to last long, but they are still a predator. Now, it's also possible that there are swimming elephants, which is a classic because Nessie had the same problem. The only difference is elephants are more likely to show up in Africa than Scotland.
That's true.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more believable, though, because, once again, they're not in fucking Scotland.
But elephants don't really swim that much. Not enough for the amount of sightings there are.
There's like 5 sightings.
We have talked about 5 sightings. There's thousands.
Yeah, I know, but I'd say throughout the fucking, 300 years that we've gone in between...
Elephants don't swim fast enough for any sort of V weight.
Do they?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
No, not even close.
Yeah, they got big fat legs. But I mean, so does
They're
They're not
legs.
speed
Mokele-Mbembe.
demons, though. They're not made for that.
That's true.
Yeah, fair enough.
But they do remember
They do remember.
the stupid drawings that people made of them on cave walls.
So we've kind of exhausted the current creatures that really fit this description that I'm aware of. Let's go prehistoric.
Okay.
Okay.
If we're gonna argue that this thing is prehistoric, it could be a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So let me take you on a journey to the prehistoric. Some theories for this big dino boy is that he could be possibly a living plesiosaur. However, it doesn't explain the footprints unless we're talking about the way that Nessie has been said to be amphibious.
Also, it's a lake, a very, very remote lake, even though it connects to the delta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so another theory is that it could be a living Indrocathir. This theory was suggested by Lauren Coleman.
The Lauren Coleman.
I don't know who that is.
Only the premier cryptozoologist and founder of the International Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, Maine. Word up, Lauren.
And the tropics, baby.
Woo, represent.
My man.
So he suggested that if the animal is mammalian, it could be one of these. Prehistoric relative to the rhino, roughly the right size, but is not currently known from Africa and is thought to have a short tail, similar to a rhino's. And that brings us to the possibility that he's a living sauropod. Appearance-wise, this makes the most sense, with a 20 to 140 foot body length. I don't know, that's a
That
pretty
is a
wide
range.
Well,
Yeah,
also sauropods,
that's a huge
like,
range.
that's not just one thing. That's like,
Yeah, it's
that
like-
covers a lot of different animals.
Yeah.
They have small heads with long necks and long tails, so checks out. Big limbs with 5 toes on all limbs, and at most a single clawed toe on each forefoot and 3 claws on the hind feet. And that just kind of makes me think that, like, these guys are just walking around with, like, middle finger claws, like, oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
I mean, that's
Just
what I'd
walking
do if
down
I was
the street.
145 feet long with a, 12-foot neck.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
yeah,
sounds
true.
about right.
Fuck with
true.
me.
Yeah, I'd be like, come on, T-Rex, let's do this. Let's dance.
Yeah, you don't have arms.
Sam, I feel that we have the most strong opinions regarding this.
Yes.
So I would like to argue the dinosaur theory.
Okay, go for it, baby.
All right. Number one, the Lukala region is considered a center of endemism. It is wholly unlike other ecosystems. The area has been largely inaccessible and mostly unchanged for millions of years. There's many species here that are found nowhere else, including species that have died out elsewhere. Certain alligator species, the western lowland gorilla, and certain monkey species.
Okay.
Since the Cretaceous period, which is famously the period that was ended by the mass extinction of the dinosaurs, it has been untouched by earthquakes, mountain formations, glaciations, or massive climatic changes.
Wow.
It's extremely stable climate-wise. So many researchers have pointed out that, in short, if there's anywhere that animals like this could survive so long past their supposed extinction, it's in the Lukala region.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have some questions such as, how can this region support a sauropod?
Yes.
If it's warm-blooded, it would require too much food, it would overheat, but if it's cold-blooded, certain researchers have said it would be fine. If cold-blooded, despite their large size, they could subsist on the same sustenance as a mammal 1/5 of their body size.
Really?
Yes.
I actually didn't know that.
So what's the math on that?
Who cares?
No, I'm checking how many calories that is. So it's about 14,000 calories a day,
That's
judging off of the elephant.
Calories.
The elephant subsists on 70,000, about, on average.
right. So 14,000 would be doable for a herbivore of this size.
But eating plants don't give you that many calories.
By plants, it's like non-stop.
That's literally what elephants do, and they need more.
Yeah, they definitely need more.
They need 5 times that based on the math.
You got
Yeah.
me there.
Now, as a counterpoint, a breeding population of warm-blooded Mokele-Mbembes would strip the region of vegetation and die out from starvation. However, if the cold-blooded assertion is correct, it wouldn't be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what I'm saying is, if it is a dinosaur, if they could survive, if they could adapt to it, this would be the place where it would be possible, because the Cretaceous doesn't mark the absence of the dinosaurs. It's when the mass extinction happened. Obviously, others survived. They turned into birds.
Yep.
It seems a little short-sighted to say that nearly all the sauropods died out in contrast.
Okay. Now, my counterpoint are a couple things. One, it's incredibly territorial. That, as has been seen with the depletion of hippo population, the flipping over of canoes, etc. With that much death in a region, if they were to sustain a breeding population of territorial animal, wouldn't there be reports about a lot of dead other things in the area? If this thing is about that big, it could probably take down gorillas.
You're right, but those would not be competitors for the same areas and the same food source.
I don't think they are competitors. I'm saying this thing is just aggressive.
That's true, but you also have to think about the fact that hippos fill the same ecological niche.
I don't know what hippos eat.
They're herbivores.
Algae?
They'd eat the same shit.
Okay.
And they're just as territorial.
No, hippos are wicked territorial.
They're mean.
I get that there. But
Also, their speed.
we see hippos.
That's true, but people occupy the regions where hippos are. Those are more
People
acceptable.
occupy these regions as well.
Not in the same numbers.
No, not in the same numbers. That is true.
This is a very, very remote location.
It's remote maybe to the Western world, but I don't think it's remote as much in that same sense to like Africa. On top of that, in order to have a breeding population with that much calories, and this is your own con point, so for every animal a day, around 14,000 calories worth of plant-based food. Because this thing is slightly bigger than, I would say, maybe I should actually look up what a hippo needs to eat.
I would say a hippo, at least, just thinking of what niches they fill, this would probably be most compared to a hippo.
88 pounds of food a night. So, 88 pounds worth of... Now, I'm not saying that's impossible.
But that's also a warm-blooded creature we're talking about, if we're going with the
That is
cold-blooded
Divide
route.
by 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know, divided by 5. But that's still a massive depletion.
Well, no, because the hippos already do that. They sustain that. And they, based on the math, need more.
Okay. then so in that case, then this thing it should be doing quite well for itself,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be spreading out into other regions? Maybe this isn't an argument for it not existing, but when eventually, I would say if we want to come back to this episode in 20, 50 years, when I'm 75,
We'll still be doing it.
yeah, we'll still be doing it. I'll be old as shit. I better have seen photos of a living Mokele-Mbembe.
We saw a video.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't believe that one. I mean one of someone being like, "Oh my God, Jay, it's a baby Mbembe."
Baby fucking dinosaur.
Like, I don't think that. Also, I've heard plenty of reports that it has sharp teeth, and that is more from the locals in the area. Now, that could be because it's so aggressive, they equate that to sharp teeth. But if it does have sharp teeth, there's a possibility that this could be an omnivore,
All right.
which would make it, I would say, more plausible.
That's
yeah,
fair.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, so that's a con towards me, is
More
that
diverse food source.
if it had, yeah, exactly, if it had a more diverse niche, then totally.
I will say, if we are sticking with this being an herbivore, there's tons of stories of living dinosaurs in this region. It is possible that the stories got confused, especially when a lot of these were reported by colonists who likely
Yeah.
couldn't give less of a shit about the distinction.
Yeah, at that point, they were just like, this is just shit they have.
Yeah.
They didn't think it was like a dinosaur. They were just like, that's just fucking stuff.
I think they barely had knowledge of dinosaurs at that point.
They
Yeah, probably not too many.
would not
Yeah.
have known much.
They have knowledge of dragons.
Exactly.
I don't know. Like, I would say it's difficult because I did say that Nessie was plausible.
That's true.
In a way, that something could take up the space of Nessie, but because Africa is it's still pretty unknown, luckily, that it's hard to say what actually could be surviving out there.
yeah.
Now, I have also heard more modern tales of the Mokele-Mbembe. I forget the name of the guy, but he was on an expedition and specifically looking for the Mokele-Mbembe.
Mm-hmm.
And he found footprints that he deemed to be of the Mokele-Mbembe. He casted them, and later on they were discovered to not a hoax, but just completely different animal.
Right.
So I just think that we would have... This could be something that we don't know what it is, but to be a sauropod, I don't think so.
True, but it's possible that we're talking about something that's evolved and adapted over 65 million years that resembles it.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, snakes are one half of a sauropod.
Exactly.
True.
We looked into that. But
Yeah.
also, comparatively to Nessie, I would say a surviving dinosaur is more plausible here based on the stories rather than Scotland because,
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
climate-wise and everything, but also ecologically,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
there is considerably less resources in Scotland to support a dinosaur than in Africa, where it effectively fills the niche of a hippopotamus, which thrive elsewhere outside of human intervention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we were in a court of law, I would not be able to display the Mokele-Mbembe does not exist beyond a reasonable doubt. So I will say for this one, you do win. I will put down my sword absolutely on that fact.
Well, I mean, that's just true for all cryptids. You can't definitively say an animal doesn't exist. You can just say we don't have evidence for it right now.
I don't know. I think I can say the slide rock bolter, or like really any of the lumberwoods things don't
All right,
exist.
the
I think that
lumberwoods
one.
are a special
I think I
circumstance.
can say definitively those aren't real.
That's fair.
Yeah, but yeah, for this one, actually, thinking about it and how remote that Lake Tele is, I think I can't think of enough good reasons why this wouldn't exist, really. So
I think what we can all fairly conclude is that it seems if all of these stories, if all the behaviors are true, then there's something there.
definitely something.
Definitely something.
The absence of hippos is interesting. This is perfect territory for hippos. That's what struck me the most, because that's like a real measurable piece of evidence towards something.
And people aren't really that good at chasing off hippos.
That's true. It doesn't go well.
Hippos don't
No.
give a fuck
Pretty-
about
not
humans.
pretty bad.
Not work out too well.
Also, if you're
Definitively pretty bad.
arguing the speed, elephants can't swim well. Hippos are fucking boats.
Beasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever seen a video of one of those things swimming? Holy shit, they're fast.
It's terrifying.
I mean, effectively, what we're arguing here is something that it doesn't have to be a sauropod, but it's something that filled the hippo niche.
Maybe it's just a different type of hippo.
A dinosaur.
Yeah. What is a hippo but another kind of dinosaur?
I mean,
That's
well,
true.
yeah.
It was pretty close, yeah.
You know that hippo milk is pink?
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Hippos have milk?
What the
They're mammals.
fuck?
Yeah, they're mammals, Toria.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Nipples do the pink.
Could you imagine seeing a hippo egg? Oh my god, that'd be
They do
terrifying.
kind of look like baby hippos look like they came out of eggs.
They do. They really, yeah.
You ever take a long
Baby
look
hippos
at
are
those
kinda
giant mammals like hippos and elephants and just realize what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been sitting there like late nights watching Planet Earth when the elephants come on, and it's just like there's nothing else like that.
No.
It's only elephants and
Nope.
nothing else.
Yeah.
I get mad.
Damn.
You get mad.
I am watching these hippos go. They fucking torpedo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're fucking
Shit,
terrifying.
they are fast.
They are
as
all,
shit.
they're just killing
No,
machines.
hippos are not to be fucked with. That's
Not
why
fucked
it's
with.
terrifying. There's something that actively fucks up hippos in the cryptozoology world. I mean, I don't know. My conclusion is I want it to be real because I love dinosaurs. I think some of the thoughts are pretty compelling compared to other cryptids we've covered. It's difficult to imagine a dinosaur lasting this long, but
These are the right conditions.
it's the right conditions and it's well within the stupid truth.
I will say definitively this is well within the truth being stupid. I will say as a final statement, although I cannot say the Mokele-Mbembe is not real, I think the eyewitness accounts are so varied that I just think it's got to be something else.
I think whatever it has to be is scarier than a hippo, and for that
Yeah.
to be true is scary in itself.
Scary.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely not aggressive though.
What?
Like it's aggressive, but it's not like predatorily aggressive.
No, it's not predatory
No,
at all.
But whatever it is,
Yeah,
it wants
that's
you
clear.
to stay the fuck out of its way.
it wants to be
Yeah.
left alone. And
Aggressively so.
Fair.
you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say this. This is a firm stance from the Beast of the Week podcast. Leave cryptid life alone. Take photos, not cryptids.
Take photos, not souvenirs.
Exactly. Take only pictures. Leave only footprints.
Maybe take the first souvenir.
As long as it isn't
it.
a dead one.
If you find this fucking thing, take it back. I want it.
I will say I've seen Lost World, and I'm still okay with what happened.
Yeah, but I saw King Kong, and that did not go well.
Jack Black was in it though. It
That
was
did not
fine.
go well.
Jack Black got 8.
That's fine.
Oh, fair.
That was no, it was a risk we were willing to take. I'm also going to rescind that last statement of mine. Don't take it back because it will probably murder you.
It doesn't end well for anybody.
It will kill you.
At the very least, these are endangered animals, and we need to protect them. There you have it, folks. We're not definitive as to what this is, and if it truly exists. Feel free to drop us a line on any of our social media outlets to let us know your theories.
And if they're other, if they differ from ours, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear that.
Thanks everyone for listening. Shout out Pat Nestor. We would like to
Pat Nestor.
personally ask you to send us spooky stories. In particular, do you have any urban legends from your area? We would love to cover them. Every town has that story about the bridge you shouldn't go to at night or the house where that thing happened. We would love to hear stories from your region, and we just might cover them on an episode.
Yeah, like the creepy red house in our town that exists in the back of the woods that we can't seem to find a reason for, but it's there.
Is that real?
Pretty sure that's
Yeah.
That might.
Behind,
I think that's a
Stetson.
Lovecraft short story.
No, behind Stetson Shrine.
Check us out on social media, Twitter at Truth is Stupid, Instagram and Facebook at The Truth is Stupid. Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. And remember, we love you.
Remember to tell your mom about the show if you haven't done that yet.
I love you.
Tell your mom, tell your friends, tell your
your mom.
aunts, tell your cat. He doesn't listen.
No,
gonna say-
no.
Right.
You tell your
You don't
cat.
know.
Tell my cat.
I give my cat a
Tell
good
Hunter.
telling to every night.
Yep, I do too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
tell-
put my cat in the other room and I play Beast of the Week podcast and just shut the door and probably go home for the weekend, actually.
Wow.
Give cats a day or two, they'll be fine.
I don't have a
Mittens
cat.
Mittens is dead.
That's why I don't
Well,
have
that
a
got
cat.
dark.
Well, on that beautiful, cheery note. Have a good week, folks. We'll be back at you next week with some spooky ooky shit. I'm John Cannon.
I have been Joe McGlinchey.
Who are you now?
Cool.
Meow.
Sam Harris.
And I'm Toria Ainsworth.
Stay spooky,
Stay
folks.
spooky.
I love you.
Fuck.